Another day, another batch of new PlayStation 4 games is what tomorrow's bringing with it. I wouldn't say that there is a major release come tomorrow. I think that comes later in the week on the 25th, with releases like Call of Duty Modern Warfare, Outer Worlds, and so on. However, there are a couple of games that I think you guys should be interested in come tomorrow. Maybe not titles you'll pick up day one and right away, but titles you should definitely keep on your wish list and pick up sometime down the line. A couple of games on traditional PlayStation 4, got one PlayStation VR game as well, so we'll go over that at the end of this video. But without further ado, got 6 games in total to go over, so let's just get right into it. And I want to kick things off with Eastshade. Eastshade is a game I feel like I am one of the very few people on YouTube talking about, but it's a very relaxing exploration-based open world game. And if you want something that's more of a chill game, maybe you played a lot of your Souls, maybe you played a lot of your Sekiro, maybe you played a lot of challenging games is what I'm saying, and you want something that's a little bit more soothing, a little bit more relaxing, well, enter Eastshade, and that's exactly what you're gonna find. In Eastshade, you play as a traveling painter, exploring the island of the game, capture the world on canvas using your artist's easel, talk to the inhabitants to learn about their lives, make friends and help those in need, visit cities, scale summits, unearth mysteries, and discover forgotten places. I think right away when anyone looks at Eastshade, they're gonna immediately be captivated by the visuals, because even though this is a cheaper game, not a $60 release, it looks like just as good as your major releases of the year, even at a more budget price point. And the game itself features a peaceful open world exploration adventure full of character. You'll be able to compose paintings anywhere in the world and offer them to the locals to unlock secrets and gain items, acquire crafting materials and schematics to surmount obstacles and solve quests, make friends along the way through fully voiced dynamic conversations and unlockable topics. The game received a 78 on Metacritic, so that's pretty good, and the Steam reception was rather strong. 1,162 user reviews since February 13th of this year, 87% positive, so I would say all in all that's quite good. And again, the game's not a full $60 release, it was released at $25, so even if you're buying a lot of these games, if you just want something to break up the monotony of these high-octane action games, not that there's anything wrong with it, but you guys probably played Borderlands 3, you're probably gonna pick up, you know, maybe Outer Worlds or Call of Duty Modern Warfare, and these are very much action-heavy games. Whatever the case may be, those games are all distinct experiences in their own right, but they're these big-budget, high-octane, action-oriented experiences. Eastshade offers something completely contrasting those styles of experiences, where it's more soothing, it's more relaxing, and I feel like in that sense it is gonna have a modicum of interest, at least from some people, if nothing else, added to your wish list, and maybe pick it up down the line. I wouldn't be all too surprised if this ends up being a PlayStation Plus title either. Another game that I definitely want to talk about is the Jrpg that I am so excited for. I've kind of been beating this drum to death, but I feel like I have to, and that is the Legend of Heroes Trails of Cold Steel 3. Guys, I have been so excited for the release of this, you don't even know. Trails of Cold Steel has been one of my favorite Jrpg franchises literally of all time. Not a hyperbolic statement on all. These games have been tremendous, and we got Legend of Heroes Trails of Cold Steel 1 a while ago. Trails of Cold Steel 2 came out all the way back in 2016, and now we finally get Cold Steel 3 over here stateside, and it is shaping up to be great. Now, obviously, and I feel like I have to reiterate this statement whenever I talk about the game, obviously, you'll want to play Trails of Cold Steel 1 and 2 before you play Trails of Cold Steel 3. Would I say that it's absolutely paramount that you play the two games? Not necessarily. Trails of Cold Steel 3 will offer a recap video, and Trails of Cold Steel 3 does begin the second half of the story, and you can kind of see it as two different parts of the game, but still, it's numerically called Trails of Cold Steel 3. Should you play Trails of Cold Steel 1 and 2? Absolutely, in my opinion, and those games were remarkable titles. Many would even say that Trails of Cold Steel 3 is the weakest among the 3 games thus far. That's not even saying much, given that the first 2 games were so good, and Trails of Cold Steel 3 generally still got an incredibly positive reception. Just bear that in mind, and Trails of Cold Steel 3 isn't even the end of the series. It'll wrap up with Trails of Cold Steel 4 End of the Saga, and that was released last year in Japan, and there's more Legend of Heroes titles in the works, so don't worry about that. This is a series that's going to persist for a very long time. The lore in this game and series is absolutely incredible, so if you want a JRPG with a lot of depth to its story and characters, Trails of Cold Steel 3 is definitely going to offer that. But again, let me reiterate, play the first 2 titles first. Alright, moving on from that, for those of you guys that like the WWE games, WWE 2K20 is out tomorrow. However, there is a caveat to this one, and this one has been seeing a little bit of a negative reception. Obviously, they have stepped away from Yuke's developing these games, and rather, it's Visual Concepts who are developing the title, and they have helped out with the WWE titles in the past. However, with them helming the development of the game, you can see from a visual standpoint and some of the details of the game have really dissipated, and that's quite unfortunate. It does have some new interesting elements, some of the story elements are cool, and a lot of the features do see the yearly updates that you would expect. However, from a, yearly sports game standpoint, this one does seem to be like a little bit of a regress in certain areas, and I don't know necessarily if I would pay $60 for it right away. These games generally go on sale rather quickly. By Black Friday, I'm sure it'll be down to at least $35, probably $30, so if you do wait on it, that'll probably end up paying dividends. There's always going to be an audience for these games. The creation suites usually leave you coming back for more, and there's a decent amount of longevity here as well. It's just unfortunate with the development team being altered that the game itself had to suffer quite a bit. I think it would have been the best had they skipped a year and then came back with it next year, but whatever the case may be, I guess 2K just wanted to get these games out yearly. From a financial standpoint, I guess they do kind of have to do that. There's always going to be an audience for these games and wanting them for the holidays or whatever the case may be. WWE 2K20 is out tomorrow. There are going to be some interesting elements to the game and some new additions. However, I think ultimately this is one that you'll definitely want to wait on a sale for. Next up, we have Raging Loop. Raging Loop is a story-driven visual novel that released on PC all the way back in August of 2017. However, when it released on PC, it didn't have an English translation, but that English translation is coming to PC, and with that, it's getting a PlayStation 4 release. In notes, immerse yourself in a thrilling psychological horror story taking place in the secluded Japanese village of Yoshimizu. A heavy mist surrounds the place, preventing everyone from ever leaving. Ancient gods have come back to hunt the villagers down one by one. The feast has begun. Can you escape the village alive? A tribute to Japanese folklore. Haruaki Fushayashi is a young man freshly arrived to Yoshimitsu, a remote settlement in a mountainous region of Japan. He will become involved in an ominous local tradition known as the feast. Among the villagers lurks the werewolf, an entity who has sworn to take revenge on everyone. If you want a story-driven game with a little bit of depth to its character development, I think that's what you're going to find out of Raging Loop. Again, it did release all the way back in August of 2017, and based on the Steam reception with those that played the Japanese language version of the game, it did get a very, very positive reception. 245 Steam user reviews, 96% positive. So from that sense, it was quite well received. We'll see how the final game turns out on PlayStation 4. Hopefully it is received quite well, and it does seem like visual novels as a genre is becoming more and more accepted on the PlayStation 4 with quality releases like the Danganronpa titles, Phoenix Wright, and AI Somnium Files earlier this year. I feel like visual novels are gaining more and more traction over here in the West. Are they the most popular genre in all of gaming? Absolutely not. They've got a long ways to go, and I don't know if they'll ever be widely accepted among gamers. However, they've definitely carved out an audience, and that's really all you can ask for out of a more niche genre like this, and Raging Loop, again, is out tomorrow. Next up, we have Minotaur Arcade Volume 1. Minotaur Arcade brings you arcade-style games with a modern twist, playable in 2D or in VR for that 80s Tron inside an arcade game feeling. Volume 1 consists of 2 Lamsoft classics, Grid Runner as the arcade game that might have been, and Goat Up as a lighthearted platformer that will have you buying. Game was released on PC back in December of 2018, 26 Steam user reviews, and all of those reviews were positive. Grid Runner is a classic Lamsoft title that was created in the days of the VIC-20 and which has evolved across many platforms over the intervening years. This implementation strips away complexity and is an attempt to imagine what an arcade game of Grid Runner might have looked like had it been implemented on arcade hardware of the time. And of course, you've also got Goat Up, which is a lighthearted platformer that'll have you buying with joy. You're a little nanny goat whose mission in life is to climb up as high as you can and to raise as many kids as you can along the way. Rather zany titles, however, from a VR standpoint, from an old school gaming standpoint, something that I did want to mention as it's definitely going to go under the radar. Okay, so that has a VR component to it, but if you want a VR-centric game, that's where Bonfire comes in. It was an Oculus release a while ago, and it released at $4.99, and it's the latest animated short movie from the award-winning Boab Studios. In Bonfire, you play the lead role in an interactive narrative. As Space Scout 817, you're on a mission to discover a new home for the human race. Too bad your piloting skills lack precision. You crash land at night on a mysterious unknown planet 300 light years from Earth. Your only source of light is your makeshift bonfire. Beyond its glow, everything falls to darkness. And what are those strange noises coming from the alien jungle? To survive, you only have your instincts and robot sidekick sidekick Debbie, voiced by Ali Wong. Debbie's companionship comes with a signature awareness. When a chance meeting with a local inhabitant further steers your mission off course, you learn that unexpected encounters just might result in lasting friendships. You'll have the opportunity to embrace, explore, and influence the world around you. In the end, the choice is yours. Will you follow your captain or your conscience? Again, the game released at $4.99. Looked like a rather interesting narrative-driven game on Oculus, and now it's making the transition to the PlayStation 4, and it's out tomorrow. And that's gonna conclude this video. Again, while I would say that the marquee releases of this week come out later in the week with releases like Call of Duty Modern Warfare and The Outer Worlds, there are some interesting games coming out tomorrow with titles such as Eastshade, The Legend of Heroes Trails of Cold Steel 3, WWE 2K20 even, and Raging Loop. I feel like there are some interesting titles dropping tomorrow, and some games, even if you don't pick up day one, they will be good pickups down the line. That's gonna conclude this video. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.